Okay. What about now, though? I want to get into another segment here. We want to talk about what happened. His Excellency, the President Uhuru Kenyatta, gave out some money that's supposed to be going to artists, and he says he feels the artists, he supports the artists as well. When you say a figure like 200 million, everybody, of course, is like, oh my God, that is a lot of money. But break it down. How much is actually going to go to the artists as well? Is it enough? What are the problems that some of them face? Joining us, what about now, the artists and musicians? We have Frasha.
Yeah, Frasha, got my K.
How you doing, bro?
Nyaze, niko poa sana. I'm good. Mask hapa tu.
Wanasema sasa hatukuoni sana, but ni sawa tu.
Oh, wacha nitoe basi.
Well, legeza kidogo. Thank you.
Hey, tell me, bro, how you been?
I've been good, man. Karibu sana. Also joining us is Brigid Shighadi, aka Sophia Kwa Maria.
You had to.
I had to. First of all, yani big fan, shout out, yani kelele, bad girl, yani una bad girl to the most. I don't even know how to look at you properly now. I know you're a good girl in real life, but oh my God.
Don't hate me if you haven't met me in real life. You need to act over there.
It's okay. Well, welcome to the show as well.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, man. Let's get down to this. I guess let's start with how it's been a long time. I mean, we've had artists, actresses, everybody complaining about we not get enough support from the government. Now, for the president to say this, there have been subsidies for other people at TCC who work as you know what, we're going to give some money. I guess the first question, I don't know, is what everybody's been asking about. 200 million in a waje. Are people going to be accountable? Let's start with you, Frasha. How do we know? How do we know it Afikia?
First of all, I'd like to thank the president for what he did to the artists. In the history of Kenyan presidents, he's the only president who has been able to acknowledge the art industry in such a way. Second thing, kuna misperceptions nyingi sana hapo nje. The president only gave 100 million. The 200 million was a projection of how much royalties we can be able to collect kwa sababu ya zile measures ame put in place. So maybe from next month or this month, we'll be able to collect 200 million as royalties. This is not money meant for healthcare. This is not money, taxpayers' money. This is money from the art industry. The 100 million that was given out from the sports fund. The sports fund inakuwaga pesa inatoka from, it's paid as taxes by the betting companies, and this is supposed to develop youth and sports. So he got 100 million from there and gave the artists to divide. Now I'll give you an example. We have almost 19,000 artists, musicians alone, and this money was given to artists, actors, and musicians. I don't know what he meant by artists and musicians. Maybe that will be clarified by the ministry. But if you just take alone a figure of 20,000 artists and you divide with the 100 million, you will see the kind of amount that each artist would get. And this is excluding the actors, right? So I think, first of all, it's a good step by the government, but we also need to sit back and think as artists, where do we move forward from this? Is this 100 million to peane, to gawane, ishe, then, because he said over the period of COVID, we don't know how long it's going to take. So if we can be able to sit down as artists and agree how, first of all, it's going to be distributed, if we can make it grow, and if we can make it grow and become a huge amount, maybe that is the next step. The other thing that I think people are worried about is the way it's going to be distributed. And especially when you put the CMOs, and people have been having problems with the CMOs. I think there is an audit that the president had requested for in January with this directive. And this would sort the CMOs and the way it's going to be distributed. So my thinking is, as artists, let's be patient, let's stick together, let's see how we can grow this fund. And after that, let's also hold the people who are supposed to distribute it accountably.
And that's going to be the biggest question, because I guess we need to see how it's going to be distributed as well. You mentioned 20,000 or 19,000 musicians or so, Brigid, that about, I guess, I'm not sure, but the figure's around 10,000. So if you add the 20,000 plus the 10,000 actors and actresses, or at least those who are registered, I'm sure there are more or less. That's just a round figure. Brigid, what do you think, though, about this? You know, is it too little, too late? How long ago should this have happened? What should happen going forward? What is your view on this?
Yeah, I think it's a good initiative that the president, you know, started acknowledging artists. But to be honest, like you said, I think it's a little bit too late. It should have happened maybe before this or after, because now, like, what's the number one worry that every Kenyan, or not even every Kenyan, like every human being has, you know, it's Corona. And I feel like that money should have been planned for something else, you know?
Yeah, and also what happened online is that we saw a lot of tweets from some artists, and you know, they were talking about, not from artists, from different people. There was a lot of vitriol, and I saw even artists saying, okay, mnasema tufai kupata hii pesa, but mukiwa alone, nyinyi mnasikia songs zetu kwa radio, nyinyi mnacheki kwa live zetu, and we have a couple of tweets to that regard. Let's just check out what some of them said. We have, I guess, one from Sauti Soul, I think that's the one. And let's start with that one. So there it is. It says here, a country that has no artists has no culture. Investing in artists is investing in the future of a nation. We heal through science, but we also heal through art. Art is an essential service. Ian Bugwa also had this to say. I really don't understand why people are confused about the president's update. Let me break it down for you. He said, actors and musicians will get money so they can entertain us during these trying times. I hope it's clear now. I almost read that in Ian's voice, but I don't want him to tweet about me as well. So Frasha, what do you think about just the vitriol, just the hate that came through after this announcement?
I think, first of all, it's wrong for people to think that we are the only artists. There are artists who are doing well, but also in our societies, we have artists who are
All right, okay, we seem to have lost Frasha there. Brigid, same question to you. Oh, is it back? All right, let's go to Brigid. Brigid, same question to you. What about the vitriol and the hate that just came through online? Like, people are almost trying to say, like, oh, bona nyinyi too, I guess.
I mean, there was a lot of hate, but I'm also an artist, you know, and I'm sure I could, you know, use that money. But, like, honestly, I was like, we have much more bigger things to worry about, which is Corona. Why don't we use that money for something better? I mean, we saw what Joho did in Mombasa with the sanitizer booth, you know. Why can't we have something like that implemented here in Nairobi, unajua, like with that money? As much as some artists need that money, I feel like there's a better use. Right now, every human being is right about Corona. Like, why don't we make that use of that? Unajua? Because, I mean, as an artist, I'd also want to get good health care. So why? You know, we get good health care. We've seen Aga Khan, they're running out of beds. Why don't we get more beds? Why don't we get more, you know, ventilators for patients? I mean, timing wasn't the perfect timing, to be honest, but I appreciate the president acknowledging artists. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, Frasha, welcome back, I guess. And also, so the same question to you. Before that, I was asking you about the same question I've asked Brigid, about the hate that came through. And do you think this money could be channeled to other things, like Brigid has said? Because also, and we've seen it online, the artists have also been complaining that by the time it gets to them, it's 3,000, 2,500, CMOs and all that stuff, the whole argument around that. So do you think that money would have been better used somewhere else? Or is it valid? Is it a PR move? What do you think is the way we should go, really?
As I was saying, I think there are other artists who are Kenyans like any other Kenyans, and wana struggle huko chini. So whatever amount you get to them, I think in as our idea, na tuache kufikiria this thing is a short-term thing. It would affect, yes, we need more beds, yes, we need more healthcare givers. I totally agree. But as we cushion other industry, this is an industry like any other. na kuna watu pia watasafa kwa hii industry. So na kuna a lot of revenue that will be lost by people in this industry. So I think it is in line with the government policies to take care of each citizen in this country, regardless of whatever industry you're in. Other places na wazinaitiwa chini pia mimi naomba government iangalie kila mtu, so that everybody feels that the government is doing something to every industry. Nobody should be left out. So I think it is important that we get the support that it is in line with the government. Na nashukuru sana President. I wouldn't take it for granted, because other countries are looking at us. Watu wamepigia kutoka TZ na kuuliza ama UG na kuuliza how come the president has given you guys money, because it's not something that is normal. But as we say, we are living in very uncertain times. So kuna vitu zingine zitafanyika this time that we also don't understand. But I thank the president.
I guess, we can't entirely say, oh, don't do it. It is a move nonetheless. We can't condemn it wholesome, I guess. So that's a move nonetheless. I want to bring in Crossfade as well. Cross, what do you think about this? And I'll also bring you in the next conversation. But for now, what do you think about the whole movie ya kupeana pesa?
Serikali imefanya kitu kubwa sana kupeana pesa. That's a very big move by the government. We've never seen that before. Wasanii najua nasikia vizuri juu ya hiyo, but what I can advise, and I think they are brighter than that, wasiseme ati hiyo do inagawanywa ama nini. Itumike for their development of their arts. Na it's a really broad thing if you consider how that money can be used for. So it's up to the artists to utilize that money for development for their arts and everything. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I guess, what are your views as well? Those of you who are at home, the hashtag to use is 10/10. Let us know what you think about this. And so many artists have been in so many WhatsApp groups where artists have been talking about this. People have different views about this. I think one of the things that needs to, from where I stand, I guess, is just the accountability. There needs to be a structure of how this money is going to be rolled out, and it's followed to the T. It's a start nonetheless, but again, let's have some structure in it so that it's not just a figure or just a statement that was made and we don't see what's going on. We're going to be back with